This short tutorial just quickly goes into the theory about how to create a major scale. A major scale is made up of two tetrachords that are separated by a tone. That's what we need to unpack and understand. Let's have a look at our C major scale. Here are the notes of the C major scale. From one C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, to another C. A tetrachord is simply a chord that has 4 notes in it, and the distance between the first note and the last note is 5 semitones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's back up a bit. What's a semitone? A semitone is the distance from any note on the keyboard to the note that's either immediately above it or immediately below it. So it's the note next door. So from this note to this note, the distance is a semitone. From this note, which is middle C, to this note, the distance is a semitone. A tone is simply the distance of 2 semitones. If I start on my middle C and I go up 2 semitones, 1, 2, the distance between these 2 notes is now called a tone. In short, from here to here is a semitone, from here to here is a tone. In some parts of the world, this is called a half step, and this is called a whole step. In our major scale, we've got 2 tetrachords, 4-note chord. The distance between the first note and the last note is 5 semitones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's our first tetrachord. Our second tetrachord is here. Our tetrachords are separated by a tone. Here's the last note of my first 4-note chord. Here's the first note of my second 4-note chord, and they're separated by a tone or 2 semitones. How do I know this is a tetrachord? It's made up of 4 notes, and the distance between the first note and the last note is, yes, you guessed it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 semitones. So 2 tetrachords that are separated by a tone make up a major scale, any major scale, and you can construct any major scale in the same way. This is quite a complicated way of thinking about it. Let's try and simplify it. If we have a look at the pattern of tones and semitones in our major scale with all these notes, what do we have? We have the distance between this note and this note is a tone, between this one and this one is a tone, and these two are semitone. So we've got a tone, a semitone. If we keep going, we've got a tone, and a semitone. Let's break it down even further. In our major scale, the distance between all the notes is a tone, except between the 3rd and the 4th note of the scale, and the 7th and the 8th note of the scale. And all major scales are constructed in the same way. Let's have a look at the F major scale. So we know our first and last notes are F. If we have a look at our tone, semitone pattern, we're going to have a tone as our first distance, followed by a tone. Between the 3rd and 4th is a semitone, and then a tone, and between the 7th and the 8th is a semitone. There are the notes of our F major scale. And you can work out any major scale in exactly the same way.